People talk about $1,000 XRP like it happens overnight, but it doesn't. You guys see it. You guys are sitting here. You're invested. If you're invested and this is your first time hitting my channel, welcome to my channel. I talk all things finance, just overall my journey, and then give you guys 3 good golden nuggets every single video that I record. Today, let's talk about how we can actually get to $1,000. It's not going to happen overnight, and then there's a real sequence and timeline. So we'll break that down, in 3 points today, and then the discipline to survive the early stages. Because if you're invested right now, it's pretty early in, so it's not too late. We'll talk about what's going to take to get to $1,000. Break down the timeline. It's not going to happen to the T, but this is what we're going to be looking for. It's not the matter of if, it's the matter of when XRP is going to hit $1,000. That's my perspective. You can agree to disagree, but a lot of folks misunderstand this point. They think, for the first point that I want to get out to you. So this is the reason why most people misunderstand the $1,000 XRP moment. It can be 33 bucks, it can be 10 bucks, it could be $100. Right now, I'm talking about $1,000, right? Because where it's built to hit and land is $10,000. So I think $1,000 is pretty modest and achievable, right? So it's the matter of when. Most think it's like a lottery ticket. That should not be your perspective. And when you're investing into this, think of it as a long-term investment. So like, think of like the new Google, think of like Amazon, Apple, when you want to be invested into those. Same thing with Bitcoin, like back in the day. And XRP was actually created around close to the same time frame as Bitcoin, but it took a little bit because they're working with the banks, right? So like they're working with the centralized, which in my perspective is, it's a contradiction and a debate, but in reality, like for utility wise, it's in my opinion the best coin for utility wise for our current world usage. Most other folks will also ignore the utility piece, the liquidity depth, and then how the timeline of institutional adoption works, and then like the sequencing around that. So there's a lot of misunderstanding around some of those pieces, and then they'll also skip the multi-phase adoption timeline. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. We'll talk a little bit about how the timeline looks and what's also been accomplished. Most won't survive this whole process and this whole wave, because they're they're too impatient, right? The maturity curve, it's going to happen. So the point of this is, think of it in phases and think of it as in like timelines and milestones for it to hit. Point 1. Point 2 is the real stepping stones to $1,000. You've got, right now we're targeting $3, back to $3, right? Because we're at $2 now as of today, the recording day. We've got a lot of the ODL growth that's happening, and then we've got depth in the settlement flows. So you see that, if you pull up some of the blockchains, you'll see like the settlement flows, and then a lot of ODL is basically like, think of like Venmo, like how you have to use Venmo as a bridge. That's what the banks are using ODL, to get to XRP. They're basically like using that to settle, and then that that's what it's going to take from $3 to $10, and then the next step after that is going to be, of course, like your $30 to your $10 to $50 range. That's when utility is going to be monetized. Banks, fintech, adoption around that scale, and then you got utility really driving the value, which I feel like that's going to come very, very soon. I don't know when, but that's going to be instant. That's going to be instant, not to $1,000, but at least to like $10 to $50. Just because when that happens, like everyone usually starts jumping on the bandwagon, and then step 3, then we're going to be looking for the $50 to $500 range. That's like the global liquidity layer, when the global everyone starts jumping on, and then it's used for multi-currency liquidity. And I'm not even talking about derivatives and all of that, right? This is just like the currencies being traded around, and then institutional flows. And then the last step is more on infrastructure. That's going to be the big wave, from 500 to 1,000. That's when XRP really becomes like the main infrastructure, and then like we'll say like it's the main plumbing, of our global economy. Like that's a deep liquidity realm, and then that's the actual path. Those are the steps that I'm going to be looking at. So yeah, but let's get into point number 3, and then we'll talk about the timeline, about what's actually happened so far. So let's say from 2012 to 2017, that's when XRPL, started becoming the foundation, and using it is reliable. That's our the XRP ledger. And then from 2018 to 2022, so that's complete. And then you got 2018 to 2022. That's when the ODL launch, so like the bridge launch, happened. And then we've got RippleNet scaling. So that's already complete. Those are huge milestones, for XRP. And then you've got phase 3, which is, from 2023 to even now. We've got majority already finished. We've got like 70% of this done. So legal clarity, that's a huge thing too. We're getting the U.S. Clarity Act, and then all of the lawsuit already complete. And then we've got relisting of XRP, institutional custody is emerging, different ways to leverage the asset, and then 2025 to 2028, you're going to see utility monetization. So those are going to be the realms that I'm looking at. So if you try and tie the milestones with the price points, then you're going to be looking at like during this time from 2025 to 2028, it's going to be around like that $50 range, right? So like anywhere from 20 to 50, that's realistic to me. And then we can see it using settlements, and then kind of start growing to use that use case. And then you got 2028 to 2032 is going to be the majority global liquidity layer. And this is where like, hey, things are going to move very fast. And then you've got global adoption, and then systematic infrastructure setup being used as the backing, of our economy. Like it's a lot to take in. I think there's a lot of information on the web, but if you just break it out into phases, and then look at their white page to see like where they're at, look at their website, and then they'll give you like those, hey, what's happening. Watch my channel. I'll provide updates too. And then these are all just milestones to hit like any other company, and just on another scale. So as long as there's improvements happening, then I'm always going to believe in this asset and then this token and the opportunity that it provides. Things are going to move fast once it does, and it's a good deal right now. So I'm going to keep this thing for probably my whole life. I don't really plan on selling it, so I just keep on planning on buying more and more to see like, okay, this is something that I really believe in. But there could be times where it can stall, right? But I held throughout even the lawsuit. I held because I really believed in it, you know, and what it can do and what it does. And so all the partnerships, even back then with Amex, when I heard about that, I was just like, okay, like, you know, like if the big banks understand what it can do, then there's something that, you know, we're trying to capture. And so I'm not trying to predict and project. These are like real ranges that I'm going to be targeting for myself within those phases. So these are my milestones. Like I'm like, hey, if it hits this, cool. If it doesn't, then that's a negative for XRP Ripple. So far, it's been very choppy. So, but that's just like on a week-to-week basis, and so I'm just like, oh, it's boring, you know. So I'm just gonna leave it there, keep on dollar cost averaging, and then as soon as, you know, it starts jumping up and down, that's when I'm saying, okay, there's price action. Maybe I should start, like, you know, putting in some positions to swing trade it and all that stuff. But that's just for fun on the short term. And then it's so right now it's so choppy and boring. Like it's perfect time to actually buy and then just hold, right? And then diamond hands the shit out of it. But for me, while I do that on top, I'm like, hey, I'm still trying to learn more about the market and mess around. So I'm just gonna get into some options and day trade and see how that shakes out. Usually I get wiped. Let's see how this is gonna work this time around. But yeah, those are the main points that I wanted to get out to you guys. You know, we've got a lot of progress that's still going on. Usually when it's a little bit more quiet, that's when you're going to start seeing a lot of the work being done. So they're pretty quiet right now, but that's good. That means that they're actually getting to work. You know, they're not hyping things up. And let's see what XRP has to offer to us, because I'm looking forward to what's next, you know, within the utilization phase and monetization, and then the global liquidity layer. So if you guys like these types of videos, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and yeah, catch you in the next one.